Hello and welcome to the second video in my channel and on my channel. I guess it's on my channel. Never mind. And well, yeah, I've been sick for the last 2 weeks, so I couldn't actually upload a new video. But today's video will be interesting for those who are studying right now, and particular in art and design. And I have my book ready, and today's topic is about how to stay creative as a design student during and in the breaks. Yeah, so let's dive into this topic, because I think a lot of people will understand and will feel related to some situation. And yeah, so as a design student, creativity isn't just inspiration, it's survival. And why is it survival? Because we all do things. We get inspired and we do this and that, and after a while you don't feel like inspired enough or creative enough to just go along, because like I said, it's survival. You have a battery for everything. Like going out doing some sports, after a while you don't have any power left. So creativity and inspiration is based on that too. It has his own capacity, his own battery, who's running during the creative and inspiration sessions. So yeah. But what kind of problems come up that creativity turns into survival mode? I will count a few things that are becoming the survival mode, and I will also tell you some solutions, what you can do. You have a kind of a guidance if anything will happen about your inspiration and stuff. So we all have that. I have it sometimes, so often. My personal experience or my personal story that I will tell you in the end what happened. That one problem is based on that, and it's burnout. Everybody has that. Sometimes you just have it in workplaces. It happens when you're trying to learn or study some new things, school stuff. I mean, come on, everybody has burnout. To solve a burnout, it's not quite easy. It's one of the biggest issues, I think, being a creative full mind. It's one of the many problems I always have as a student. After break or after the first semester, I realized that when I finished being a design assistant, I was really in a place where I had often burnouts, and it can happen to everybody. I felt when I had a burnout, I felt like really alone, but we're not alone in this situation. Everybody can have it. And what I learned and what helped me a lot is to just not even give it a pause. It's just leave it for a few moments like that. Just there's a sentence where it explains to take one step back to make two steps forwards. And in this situation, I think personally, yeah, you should do in a burnout to step one step back. You kinda need to understand making a break or just taking a pause, it's not something terrible. It's okay. I mean, if you need or if it's must, do it before this burnout turns into something bigger that you can't solve on your own. So when you take a break, I mean really take a break. Just put everything aside. Don't ignore it. Don't just think it's like disappeared or something. Just make it seeable that there's an issue, but say, hey, I can solve that in a few days if I recharge my battery and can then proceed the process. Another problem is deadlines, because I experience a lot of things, and lately, the past few years, I had a lot of deadlines where I needed to press creativity out of myself to proceed my exams with creativity and inspiration, and that's a problem. Having deadlines, it's okay, because you know in that time around you need to finish the work, and afterwards you have like free space to do whatever you want. But to understand, deadlines are not strangling, but it can go into survival mode quickly than you can think. What do you can do to make this deadlines issues more comprehensive? Well, personally, I had back in my high school years, I had an exam in the topic of design history, and we need to design based on some aspects totally different gadgets. And well, it was okay, it was doable, but I was not in the mood on that day and even screw up that one task and I was really 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 sad about that. But the thing is, I stressed myself out because I overthinked too much about this problem. The deadline made myself so anxious that I misread the task and screwed up. So if you having a deadline, please be calm. I mean, yeah, it's easy to say, it's hard to do, and I had a lot of experience in this point, but it's manageable. What helped me, I just scheduled everything down, because when I experienced not scheduling down and trying to find time spontaneously was more difficult, I overthinked even more and I got stressed even harder. I knew in that time I need to schedule out my time. I need to find time where I will only work on my skills for the exams. And it worked. I just had on, let's say, Saturday, like, it's a bit much, but 4 hours to just be creative, it was enough because I did my work. It was done in the end of the day, and I am closer to fulfill the task for this deadline. And in the end, deadlines can be more stressful because we can't manage to see how much the big the task will be or how small and easy it can get. So for me, also helped by deadlines to kind of understand how much work should get. So what I did also before I started having the schedule down, to look how much work I have in front of me. Sometimes I had like tasks about some particular historically designed chairs and I needed to make a presentation about that, and let's say I only had a Saturdays free, so I took the time to make a list what needs to get done, and after that I scheduled everything down for the next, let's say, 4 weeks, and just make that clear to make on this day this, on the next day that. And another thing where I was really glad that I did was to make an extra few hours spontaneously, or just in case when something happens that you have the spare time, in case when you get interrupted in your work and you can't just do it right now. So yeah, another problem is losing inspiration. Not losing, having a lack of inspiration, because I know when my battery is low and I have no inspiration left in me. What did I do when I had a lack of ideas? Well, I just sit down and took a break. I mean, for real. Not just making a break where I just sit down and watch a movie. For one day, I did nothing on art in general. Yeah, that helped really good, because not only did I just didn't interact with art in this moment, so the battery will be like not in survival mode, more like recharging. I also did the next day watching a lot of clips, YouTube videos, movies, whatever, so just to see a bit of kind of input that I can take out to let myself inspired. For example, Bob Ross. If you are an oil painter and you have like a breakdown or something in one semester, you can also make a break during the sessions and just go out, take a breeze of air and sit down somewhere, listen to music, doing everything except the task. Because that helped me a lot of times too, just catching up with friends. So the lack of inspiration, just recharge in this moment, because sometimes we don't have the time. So you need to find ways to not ignore it, but to trick yourself around the problem, to find a solution where you know, okay, I can proceed from this point on better, because not only did I just recharge, I asked to my friends and I listened to music, would always help me. So now I can go on, find some clips, watch some Bob Ross videos, and get myself inspired to do in this session the perfect oil painting that I'd ever done in my life. You can have that mindset too, what helps a lot too. And then you can see if it's enough or if you need to take another break. And yeah, that's actually some problems that I had and find a solution. What I think that also people have is the mindset, particularly in this problem, mindset in this way: when you try something completely new out and you have not a lot of time, because during the semester you know what will come up, and in the end of the semester we all are full booked out. And what helped me was to have a mindset where I knew, okay, I know it's too much, I know I will be so devastated if I'm failing, but I will not think about that. I will not think about the failure. I will just pursue it. And if I'm making a mistake, I will learn from it. And the next time it will come up again, I will do it better because I knew what I did wrong and I know what to do not. So this time it will work out. And that kind of a mindset also sometimes helped me a lot. Yeah, I had breakdowns and I just were in a point where I sit down in front of a, I don't know, piece of paper, picture, or whatever, where I didn't want to even think of drawing right now, but to sit down and say, you know what, I know I'm tired, I'm overthinking, I have to need to finish this, I need to finish that really good, and it needs to be done till tomorrow. I will just sit down, take it in, and say, you know what, I don't care. I will finish it. I will finish it. I know it will be forced and sometimes it looks worse if you force it out. But when I finished it, I will get myself something delicious or I will give myself the best sleep afterwards. And it helped because I had the mindset where I said, okay, you're allowed to have the bad day. You're allowed to be not creative enough, but it needs to be done. Afterwards, I can just chill. Yeah, so let's come to the tips. But I also read a lot of things and not even helped me during my semester and in my break. What I also, some of those tips already said it, are just like changing the environment. If you know you're just in this room or in this big workshop for the next, I don't know, 4 hours, just change the environment. Go out, like I said before, go sit down in front of a tree or just sit down on a bench and just take a few minutes in to have a completely different environment. Also, like, if your friends are not in this room, in this workshop where you just need to be creative, go to your friends because this also is a different environment where you can get inspired too. Quick sketch sessions are sometimes more efficient than doing nothing, but that depends. If you're like right now in a position where you say, I feel like, okay, I can do a bit more, I don't want to overtake it, then you can do sketches. But if you feel like, oh, I'm cramping right now, don't do sketches because you need to kind of go into yourself and try to understand if you're capable of making this sketch session. If not, leave it like that because then you're overtaking it and making overstep and it can end up in a burnout or a cramp or whatever. So don't make too much. Yeah, digital detox is also something. What is, let's say, if you're a digital artist or if you just right now need to do everything digital and stuff, or you need to work in both sections, like you're drawing on a paper and then need to scan this. Read a book, okay? Read a book, go bake something, go on a walk. I don't know, if you have a record player, just play the record. Just don't go into the social medias or anything because sometimes digital detox is also something where we have also like a dopamine overdose of inspiration that we don't know anymore if it's inspiration or just general information, taking the information in and don't know how to comprehend that, and your brain just makes a click and then done. So sometimes digital detox helps a lot in this process too, in this session, because we sitting in the sessions, in my case, we sit in sessions or in classes where they say, draw me a bottle, and we go into Pinterest and get inspired. Sometimes that's efficiency enough, but sometimes not. Sometimes it overtakes the step of stimulation or dopamine intos, and it just cramps you up. Sketch down without just go into in Pinterest, because sometimes some creative designs are coming out of your mind even though you don't even know it. Just start sketching down and you will see that that will help too. The next tip is doing something else. Like I said before about like record playing, reading a book, I don't know, journaling, talking to friends, cleaning. Yeah, cleaning helps sometimes too, because if our head is a mess, our environment is a mess. Because I'm a person like that. If my head is not in the right position, my room will look like it. Not cleaned, not it's a chaos, okay? And from what I get is if I'm doing something different, it's like sometimes cleaning, because then I can see, okay, my environment is clean. I can perceive my thoughts and just structure them down to understand myself right now more, to get myself inspired or creative, and it helps me in the process of just getting creative. So to my personal story, why I even did this personal video is I had a few years ago a really burnout where I couldn't do anything. Literally, I mean, I was inspirational down. My battery was not even on survival mode anymore. It was just like on the edge of dying, and I really took a break. It was during the time where I didn't know what to do with myself. I never choose the path that I wanted to, because I said, yeah, I will find it anyway. So let's try the basic thing that I can find was economy, and I went this way, and it was not my place at all, but it's a different story. Well, it blockaded my creativity really hard. I got burnouts and I was really devastated in that time, where I started to not draw anymore for over a year. And till this day, I'm not mad. A bit disappointed by myself because I didn't understand how to solve that problem, and it kept going over a year. And after a year, I started a bit more to draw, and I understand it that I just need to have a break, doing something different, changing the environment, and it helped me to understand if something like that will happen ever again, that I know what to do not, because I don't want to make a break over a year again for just getting my battery reloaded. That is not what I want. I'm a design student. I mean, I design a lot. I just cannot stop for a year. At the end of the semesters, I need to give drawings. I have piece of papers to give to my professor. So, and yeah, well, in this time around, I also choose my path about being a product designer, and that's what also wanted to say is my channel will be also about designing and my current life as a design student, also about mindset and lifestyle. Not lifestyle, but self-love, self-caring, discipline, and yeah, mental health actually. I will talk about these topics a lot, so if you want to have more input, just stay tuned. Continuing the story is, when I found my path afterwards, it was so much easier to draw, to be creative, because I didn't have in my head always to understand, oh my god, I need to overcome this and I need to make that, and I have always these cramps inside of me where I couldn't understand why I always get a quick burnout. And till I understand that I can't expect to reload my battery if I'm not even giving my battery a chance to reload. Because overthinking and stressing myself didn't help there to recharge my battery. I needed to calm myself down to understand, okay, my battery will be only recharged if I'm in a calm state. And that helped me to understand my first semester, even though I did some few mistakes where I'm not judging myself, but said, yeah, next semester I'm not doing that. And yeah, it helped me because that personal experience kind of let me understand what I should not do in my semester, and it came out a bit better. It came out much better, actually. It came out really better. And for the next semester, I will pursue the things a bit more different because now I understand how the semester works, how the design works, how to be an industrial designer is. As in the semester, I learned also what kind of exams I have, what kind of deadlines, what I need to make, and what is not needed. So I already know some deadlines where I need to focus myself on, and that helped me to understand also, yeah, next time I will go path A than B. So yeah. Well, that was actually it. So if you in a stress position and want to be creative in your semester and you don't know, follow along those tips. Maybe it will help, maybe not. Maybe you have your own experience. You can tell me, write down in comments, and well, see you next time, and I hope you liked it. So bye bye.